Hi everyone, welcome to Keep Calm and Crochet. Today I'm going to show you how to crochet this cute little lamb or a sheep. For this tutorial you're going to need grey colour yarn in DK and some plush yarn for the body. We're going to be needing two different crochet hooks for this. So the grey part we will work with a 3mm crochet hook and the cream part will work with a 5 or 5.5mm crochet hook. In addition to this you're going to need 12mm security eyes, darning needle, stitch marker, pair of scissors and some fiber fill. So make sure you've got all of those components. Now before we start, if you enjoy watching my tutorials, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Let's get started. We're going to start off with our grey yarn and let's begin by working a slip knot using whatever method you prefer and chain 2. 1, 2. This method is an alternative to magic ring, but if you prefer working with magic ring, start your first round in the magic ring. But for this method, you're going to skip your first chain and work 6 single crochets in the second chain from your hook. Pull up a loop from there, yarn over, pull through both loops. That's my first single crochet. Let's go ahead and work 6 all together. Here's second, third, fourth, fifth and my sixth one. Once you have your 6 single crochets, pull on this bit of yarn to eliminate the gap between your stitches. It will bring your stitches nice and close together and you can start working in spiral. To do this, you're going to slip your hook in the first single crochet of your previous round and work a single crochet in there. That's my first single crochet of round 2. Going back into that same stitch to work one more, so that this is an increase. So every single time I say increase, you work 2 single crochets in that stitch, in the same stitch. So in this round, we're going to be working 6 increases. Here's increase number 2. Increase number 3. Four. 5 and my last one, increase number 6. Once you worked your 6 increases, this should bring your stitch count to 12. From here you're going to start your next round by working a single crochet in your first stitch. I'm going to start using a stitch marker to identify the start of each of my rounds from here on. So we're going to follow the single crochet on with an increase, which means 2 single crochets in the same stitch. And here's your combination for this round. 1 single crochet followed on with an increase and repeat that all the way around until you get to this point here. So go ahead and work that and then meet me back here. At the end of this round, your stitch count should be 18. Let's start the next round by working a single crochet in our first stitch. Stitch marker back in place. Follow this on with an increase in the next stitch. And then a single crochet after that. So here's your combination for this round. Single crochet, increase, single crochet. Single crochet, increase, single crochet, and repeat that all the way around. At the end of this round, your stitch count should be 24. Let's start the next round with 3 single crochets in a row. So here's my first, second, third, followed on with an increase, and here's your combination for this round. 3 single crochets followed on with an increase. Repeat that all the way around. At the end of this round, your stitch count is 30. Let's start the next round by working 2 single crochets in a row. That's 1, 2, stitch marker back in place. Follow this on with an increase in the next stitch. And then 2 single crochets again in the next 2 stitches. And here's your combination for this round. 2 single crochets, followed on with an increase and 2 single crochets. 2 single crochets, increase, 2 single crochets. Repeat that all the way around. At the end of this round, your stitch count should be 36. Now we're going to start the next round by working a single crochet in our first stitch, stitch marker back in place. Follow the single crochet on with a single crochet in every one of these stitches all the way around. To finish this round, you're going to need 36 single crochets in a row. Once you've done that, you're going to follow the same method one more time to have 2 rounds of just single crochet. So go ahead and work that and meet me back here. At the end of 2 rounds of single crochet, your stitch count should still be 36. Now we're going to fasten off by working a slip stitch in your next stitch. Let's go ahead and snip this yarn off, pull it out of the stitch and pull this down to secure this in place. Now from here, we're going to take a minute and insert some security eyes into the head. I've already gone ahead and done that. You're going to be doing this between round 5 and 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So stitches in between those, and you will have 7 stitches in between the eyes, 7 to 8 stitches gap between the eyes. Once you've done that, we are going to change our hook size over to a 5mm crochet hook, and we're going to grab our plush yarn as well now. So to do this, you're going to slip your hook in any of the top stitches. Now the first round is going to be a little bit hard because we're slipping a big hook into the stitches that were made with a 3mm crochet hook. So it will be a little bit hard, but after that it should be nice and easy. So pull this yarn through this loop like this. And from here, you're going to chain 1 and pull this strand down to secure this in place. Now going back into that same stitch, and we're going to start this round with a single crochet. Follow this on with a single crochet in every one of these stitches all the way around. As I said, the first round will be a little bit difficult to slip this hook inside those stitches, but after that it should be nice and easy. So once you worked this whole round with 36 single crochets in a row, you're going to follow the same method 7 times altogether to have 7 rounds of just single crochet in this plush yarn. Now when you work the first 2 rounds, it might seem that it's increasing in size and it's getting wider instead of gaining in length, but rest assured, once you worked your 7 rounds, it will look better. So go ahead and work 7 rounds of single crochet and meet me back here. At the end of 7 rounds of single crochet, your stitch count should still be 36. Now in this round, we're going to start working some decreases to finish off the gap between the stitches. So let's begin by working 4 single crochets in a row. 2, 3 and 4. And we're going to follow that on with a decrease. To work a decrease, you're going to pull up a loop from the next 2 stitches, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 in one go. Let's show you this one more time. So 4 single crochets, 3, 4, followed on with a decrease, pull up a loop from the next 2 stitches, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. Go ahead and finish this round by following that same combination all the way to the end. At the end of this round, your stitch count should be 30. We're going to start the next round by working 3 single crochets in a row. Here's 1, 2, 3, stitch marker back in place. Follow these 3 single crochets on with a decrease. So pull up a loop from the next 2 stitches, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 in one go. And here's your combination for this round. 3 single crochets followed on with a decrease, and repeat that all the way around. At the end of this round, your stitch count should be 24. We're going to start the next round by working a single crochet in our first stitch. Let's put the stitch marker back in place. We're going to follow this on with 11 more single crochets to get to a total of 12. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. Now this should bring you to the middle of the head. So if I was to squeeze the eyes together to have them together and fold the top, this should be right next to the stitch. So this is the stitch where we're going to make the tail. To make the tail, you're going to slip your hook inside, work your single crochet, and then work chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. From here, you're going to skip your first chain and work 4 double crochets all the way to the back. To do this, you're going to yarn over the hook, slip your hook in that same stitch, the second stitch from your hook, pull up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through first 2, yarn over, pull through next 2. And we're going to have a few more till we get to the end. So yarn over, go to the next stitch, and there's your second double crochet, third double crochet, and your fourth one. And there we go. Now that brings you to the end, or the back to the these stitches where we were working. We're going to continue working as usual, but before you do that, you're going to work a slip stitch in the base of that same stitch. So just where we had the single crochet, going to pull up a loop from there, and we'll pull that loop from through the loop that's already on your hook like this. Now you should have 11 stitches left, and you're going to work 11 single crochets in a row. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 11. Stitch count should still be 24 apart from addition of this little tail. So when you see it, it's going to be curling up like this. You could turn it inside out if you wish to make it curl this way. It's up to you. Now let's start the next round by working 2 single crochets. Here's 1, 2. So let's put the stitch marker back in place. Follow this on with a decrease. Pull up a loop from the next 2 stitches, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. Now as we've got the tail in this round, I'm going to show you how to work this, so we'll work on this round together. So here's your combination. 2 single crochets followed on with a decrease. Let's continue working this. 1, 2, followed on with a decrease. Now once you work that, you'll come across the tail. So you should be able to fit 2 single crochets and a decrease combinations on this side, and then you're going to be working the rest on the other side. So we've got 3 more to go. But if I pull this apart, pull the stitches apart tightly, you'll see that I'm using 2 stitches for just the tail. So we're going to work the 2 stitches like this. So turn this upside down, or you can just catch this first stitch from here, or you can do it from the base. So that's 1, and the second one is going to be from the base, 2, and move the tail out of the way and continue working decreases. And a decrease. 1, 2, and a decrease. And for the last time, 1, 2, followed on with our final decrease of this round. There we go. Now this brings your stitch count to 18. We're going to work our next round by working a single crochet in our first stitch, stitch marker back in place, follow this single crochet on with a decrease. Now that's your combination for this round. As the space between the stitches is decreasing in size, make sure to fill this up with some fiber fill. Finish this round with 1 single crochet followed on with a decrease, and then meet me back here. At the end of this round, stitch count is 12, and I've already gone ahead and stuffed this sheep up with fiber fill. Now from here, you're going to work our final round to close this gap off altogether. To do this, you're going to work 6 decreases in a row. So pull up a loop from the next 2 stitches, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3 in one go. That's my first decrease. And just like this, I'm going to work 6 of them all together. Here's second decrease, third decrease, fourth, fifth decrease, and my final decrease of this round, decrease number 6. Once you work your 6 decreases, you will still have a tiny gap between the stitches. Now there are 2 options at this point. You can either use your darning needle to sew this gap off, or you can work 1 more decrease and then work a slip stitch. I'll show you how to do that. Just working 1 more decrease will allow you to simply go in the opposite stitch where you've just finished, like this, pull up a loop, make this loop go through the loop that's already on your hook. And from here, let's go ahead and snip this yarn off, pull it out of the stitch and pull this down to secure it in place. Slip your hook from further away, make it come out from that very same stitch, loop this onto your hook and pull this in. And there we go. Now that completes the body of this sheep. So we can give it a little squeeze and this should go to its original shape because the fiber fill will spread evenly all the way around. And there we go. That's what your sheep looks like at this point. Now onto the legs, and for this let's go ahead and use our thinner DK yarn again with a 3mm crochet hook. Work a slip knot and chain 2. From here, skip your first chain and work 6 single crochets in the second chain from your hook. And that's my first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. Once you have your 6 single crochets in a row, you're going to pull on this bit of yarn to eliminate the gap between your stitches. This will bring your stitches nice and close together and you can start working in a spiral. Slip your hook in the next stitch, which is the first single crochet of your previous round, and we're going to work an increase in there, so 2 single crochets in that same stitch. So in round 2 you're going to work 6 increases altogether. So here's my second increase, third increase, fourth increase, fifth increase, and my final one, increase number 6. Now this brings your stitch count to 12. From here you're going to start the next round by working a single crochet in your first stitch, and I'm going to start using the stitch marker again to identify the start of my rounds. And from here you're going to follow this single crochet on with a single crochet in every one of these stitches all the way around. To finish one round you're going to need 12 single crochets in a row. Once you've done that, you're going to follow the same method 5 times altogether to have 5 rounds of just single crochet. Go ahead and work that and meet me back here. At the end of 5 rounds of single crochet, your stitch count should still be 12. Now we're going to finish off by working a slip stitch in the next stitch. And we're going to leave a long tail and snip this yarn off, pull this out of the stitch and pull this to secure this in place. We're going to be using the same instructions and make 3 more of these, so we have 4 legs altogether. So go ahead and make 3 more and then meet me back here. Now onto the ears for this lamb. Let's go ahead and start by working a slip knot. Slip your hook inside and chain 2. 1, 2. From here, you're going to skip your first chain and work 5 single crochets in the second chain from your hook. So pull up a loop from there and work your first single crochet, go back into that same chain stitch to work the rest of them. There's my third, fourth, and fifth. Once you have your 5 single crochets, you're going to pull on this bit of yarn to eliminate the gap between your stitches and start working in a spiral. Slip your hook in the first single crochet of your previous round, and from there you're going to be working an increase to start the next round, which is round 2. There we go. Once you've done your first increase, you're going to follow that on with 4 more increases to finish this round. So in total you're going to have 5 increases. So here's my second increase, third increase, fourth increase, and my final one, increase number 5. Once you've done your 5 increases, your stitch count should be 10 at this point. We're going to now slip our hook in the next stitch and work a single crochet to begin round 3. You're going to follow that on with a single crochet in every one of these stitches all the way around. Now again, I'm going to start using a stitch marker to identify the start of my rounds here. And go ahead, finish this round by working 10 single crochets in a row. Once you've done that, you're going to follow the same method 2 more times to have 3 rounds of single crochet altogether. Go ahead and work that and meet me back here. At the end of 3 rounds of single crochet, your stitch count should still be 10. Now we're going to work a final row of stitches to close this gap off on the top. To do this, you're going to make sure that the stitch that you finished with is on one corner, like this. And from here, you're going to slip your hook in the next stitch and guide it to come out from the stitch at the back. So if I pull this apart, you can see that I've gone through the stitches in the front and the back in one movement. So pull up a loop from there. And we are going to work our first single crochet across the top. Slip your hook in the next stitch and make it go through the next stitch at the back as well, like this. Again, it's gone through both of the stitches. That's better. Yeah, they've gone through both stitches, and we're going to yarn over, pull up a loop, work your second single crochet, and just like this, you're going to be working 5 single crochets all together on the top. So here's my third one, fourth, and final number 5. And once you've got your 5 single crochets, you're going to chain 1, and let's go ahead and snip this yarn off, leaving a long tail for sewing. Pull this out of the stitch and pull this down to secure this in place. And there we go, that's one of the ears done. You're going to follow the same instructions one more time to create another one of these. Now onto the assembly, and we're going to start off by attaching the legs on. I've already gone ahead and done one side, and I'll show you how to do this side. And we're going to begin by looking at the position from the front of the face. So the legs are going to be on the outside, so this can sit perfectly along the top of any surface like that. So we're not going to make it vertical. You can do if you wish to, but I am going to make them go in an angle on the outside like that. Now, when you're positioning this, the other side will have to be symmetrical, so I'm going to slip it, attach it around here, and we are going to be looking at it closer together. So here I have on the plush part, you're going to leave 2 rounds and then sew the leg on round 3 and 4. So it's going to sit perfectly on top of round 3 and 4. Once you've done that part, you're going to leave 3 rounds in between, and you're going to attach the next leg in line with the previous leg on 2 rounds again. So that's 1, 2, you're going to leave, 3, 4, you're going to stitch that onto it, 5, 6, 7, we're going to leave, 8 and 9, you're going to stitch that on. So those are your rounds, exactly where you're going to position this. So let's go ahead and now show you how to position, sew this on the other side. So first of all, keeping it in line and symmetrical on both sides, I'm going to position it. And now, while holding it in place, I'm going to count 2 rounds and make sure that this leg is stitched on round 3 and 4. So we're going to catch 1 stitch on the leg, on the body, and then 1 stitch on the leg. Now when you're sewing these 2 components together, you might have to go through the same stitch on the body couple of times while you're stitching the 2 stitches on the leg, because there are more stitches on the leg and less stitches on the body. So that's how we're going to just slowly make our way all the way around and sew these 2 components together. I'm now on my last stitch. Let's work on that together. And there we go. Once we have gone through all of the stitches all the way around and attach the leg at the base like this, you're going to just catch 1 stitch on the grey part of the leg. And I'm going to do that like this. Slip your hook, needle through it, create a loop with your thread, slip your needle back through that loop that we've just created and pull this down, because this creates a knot in place and this will secure the thread in. Once you've done that, you're going to slip this needle back inside that same stitch, make it go through some fiber fill, come out from another side of the body, wherever it is, and we can now go ahead and snip this off. Let's give this body a little squeeze, and now the arms of this little sheep are on. You're going to follow the same instructions and attach the legs on as well in line with the other side, leaving 3 rounds between the legs. So go ahead and do that and meet me back here. Legs are now sewed on, and this is what they look like at this point, and this is our sheep. We're now going to move on to attaching the ears onto the sheep's head. To do this, you're going to thread this darning needle with the bit of yarn that's coming out of the ear. We're going to pinch it at the base like this. So this is already closed. We're going to pinch it at the base, slip our needle in the opposite end of the ear, and we're going to pull these two close together like so. Let's make that go from the front again, just so the connection is really nice and secure. Now that's what the ear looks like at this point, and this is how we're going to sew it on top of the head. When we're sewing this, as you can see, these are the rounds. We're going to be sewing it in like this across, not in between the rounds, but on top. So hold it in position. I want to make mine go in line with the eye. So I'm going to be sewing the ear in between these stitches right there. So pull your needle through, and once this is in place, you're going to catch the stitch at the back, and that should secure the ear on. Now we're going to go through the same stitch a few times to make the connection really nice and secure. And once we've done that, you're going to pull the thread and create a loop with it like this. Slip your needle inside that loop and tighten this down by pulling on it. And once that's done, that will create a knot in place, and that's secure the thread down. Slip your hook back or needle back inside the base of that ear. Make your needle go through some fiber fill, come out from another side of the body, and I'm going to just slip it in again. And when you squeeze it, that should disappear. Now I can go ahead and snip this yarn off from here. Give it a squeeze and that should disappear. And follow the same instructions and sew the other one on as well, and then meet me back here. Ears are now on, and this is what our little lamb or sheep looks like at this point. We are now going to move on to the final bit, which is the final features of this little sheep. So you're going to slip your needle right underneath the eye, and so keeping one stitch in between, and make it come out from the other side in exactly the same sort of position. So one stitch in between the eye and directly underneath it. So once you've done that, you're going to now slip your needle back inside that same stitch where we've just started from, and guide your needle to come out from the base. So 3 rounds above the base like this. And from here, you're going to slip your needle underneath, pull this down. So we're going to now tighten all the strands and pull this down and slip this needle in right at the bottom this time, directly in line with this line here. Make it come out from the stitch that we started with. And when you pull this down, this will create that lovely Y shape nose like this. And from here, you're going to take these 2 bits of strands and you're going to give them a little knot in place to secure them. I always tend to give a double knot And once you've done that, you're going to take your darning needle and slip this needle in that stitch, pushing that knot in. And now I can guide this needle to go through some fibre fill, come out from another side of the body. Give this a little squeeze so that the nose doesn't get pulled in too much. I'm going to just repeat that one more time. And I can go ahead and snip this yarn off further down wherever it comes out from. Now the other one, you can either use your darning needle or you can use your hook. I'm going to use my darning needle for this as well. So let's go ahead and thread that into our darning needle. And repeat the process one more time to get rid of the other tail as well. If the thread is still visible, you can always push it in with your hook. And let's give this a little squeeze to make sure everything retains its shape and the fibre fill is distributed evenly. And now that's what we've got. We're now going to make a tiny little blush on either side of this sheep's face. And for this, you're going to be using this pink, lovely pink yarn. I'm going to slip it in from further away, make it come out just on the edge of the eye like this. And from here I'm going to pull the thread out quite a lot and keep 2 rounds in between and just go through those 2 rounds like this. So I'm going to go through those same few stitches a couple of times until we've got the desired size of the blush. I'm happy with that. I'm going to slip my needle back in that corner stitch. So we've got 4 strands all together. Repeat the same process on the other side. This time we're going to make sure it's exactly the same on matching on both sides. Pull this out. Make sure the threads are sitting side by side and not overlapping. And repeat the same process on this side. So keeping 2 rounds in between. Slip the needle in. Come out from that same stitch a few times. Once you've done it 3 times, you're going to slip your needle in for the last time and guide it to come out from where we started the whole process, all the way to the other side. Give the head a little squeeze. And now we are going to tie these 2 strands into a knot. Snip this down to a smaller size. Use your darning needle to slip this thread back inside. Make it go through some fibre fill. Pull it out from another side. And let's go ahead and snip this off. And because it's on the softer part, I can use my hook to pull the other bit in. So guide it to go through from further away. Make it come out from that same stitch where the pink thread is coming out from. And pull this in. You can either repeat the same process again, or you can just snip the yarn off. I like to follow the same process one more time. And once the thread comes out, you can now go ahead and snip this off from here. And there we go. Now that completes our little lamb. If you enjoyed making this lamb or sheep with me, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.